the What It Is, What It Be's Like radio show, world famous Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM, channel 140. It's your main man, King Size, aka Slim Sizzle, back in the back of the building. And it's dope when you get to a point when you are able to sit down with someone that's from home.
Yes, sir.
And it's home for a number of reasons, of course, by way of Chester, PA.
Yes.
Of course, and residing in Delaware.
Yep.
So y'all know, anybody that knows my journey, Delaware never, we didn't get the love that we deserve as far as being CHH artists, but the time has come. There's a wave now, and I'm loving it, seeing what I'm seeing from the likes of like Young Seta, 302 Quan, and who I'm speaking with today. Shout out to my brother Isaac. Glad to have you, my brother.
What up? How you?
Good, man. Good to have you in the building, man.
Yes,
how you feeling today?
I'm good. Shout out to Seta and Quan. Seta actually was the first guy I ever worked with in rap, like in Delaware. So he was the first guy. I met Quan probably, he actually goes to a family member of mine. He goes to the church. So I met him. So we've just been building relationships. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to DJ LA for Christ too. They just performed at that event. So
indeed. Definitely glad to have you, man. It's a lot of things we're going to talk about today, and I want to throw a curveball at you, man. How you feel about what happened with the Super Bowl this year?
Me personally, I watched it here and there.
Okay.
I personally wish the Eagles was in it, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
As far as the whole Bad Bunny thing, I didn't know what he was saying, to be honest with you, but I'm glad he got that opportunity to get on that stage and do what he need to do, represent for his country, his family, etc. So,
indeed.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think? And the reason why I touched on this because, of course, it's a hot topic right now, and you got people that are on different sides of the fence. When it comes to being a Christian,
right.
and being in the space of, when politics gets in the mix, how do you feel when people say, okay, I'm your brother in Christ, but then they stand on the other side because they follow the likes of whoever the political figure is, or they're extreme on the other side? Where do you tell them, okay, let's cut the division and how we bring this thing together?
Yeah, so for me personally, I kind of look at it, how would Jesus lead everything? Like if Jesus was right here, right now, within the midst of the politics, how would he handle it?
Gotcha.
And that's how I kind of see things. Like for me, I actually had an interview and they asked me about politics. I kept it honest. I was like, I don't really get into politics. Okay. I just want to lead like Jesus and how he would. If he says, okay, love this person, I'm gonna love this person despite if they Democrat, Republic, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, how was Jesus gonna love this person? And now as far as all the stipulations and strategies, y'all gotta handle that. I'm just here to love like that. Some things I may or may not support, but that's just me as a man and my values. Other than that, do what you got to do. And I'm just pray for you and pray that God can intercede in your life, but do what you need to do.
It's funny you say that because I think in as a word that you use, the word love, and it's amazing how, we know God is love,
right.
But that's not exemplified in these discussions, in these conversations. And it feels as though that's the one thing that is not present when we have these discussions. And it's almost like that is always the common thread that we're not using to unify.
Right.
It's always standing on the opposite side. How do you think we can apply that love? And how do we go about repairing what's broken in those spaces?
So in the Bible it says love is patient, love is kind. And I think just in general, a lot of people aren't patient.
Right.
And when I say that kind of puts in a position of, okay, if you're not patient now, the love is rushed. Now everything is rushed. And I think not as a society, but as people, we're rushing everything. And reality is we're all trying to find love, but everybody knows, well, spiritually, we know that God is love. Jesus is the one that we need to be following. But people are looking, but they're like, I don't want to go. I know it's him, but I don't want to go there right now. So let me find something else. And I feel like when people need love, they need to just sit back and say, okay, what is it exactly? Because I don't think a lot of people know what love is.
Okay.
And if you be technical, people come from environments where, domestic abuse, family issues, and these type of things, and they call it love. So now when you get perfect love or God's love, it's a whole thing now where it's like, this is not normal. I'm not used to this. So you have to slow walk people. You can't just, in the Bible it says, and I'm paraphrasing here, where it's like, it says, you guys about the milk, where he was like, trying to paraphrase here, where he said, we give you the milk and things of that nature. So it's like, you know what? You still got baby food. You got baby food. You got to grow.
Going from the milk to meat.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I feel like that's what we have to do with the love as well. We got to get these people from here to here. You can't just If somebody's in a domestic situation, you can't just come in, oh, I love you so much, you're great. They didn't even get paid. They didn't heal from this. They didn't heal from this person to get here. Because when you start getting here, that's a whole thing. And then you have the patience factor in the love as well. You got to be patient with them. You got to give them all these steps, piece by piece by piece, and then they're finally getting it. Because if you just automatically rush to the end of it, it's going to crumble because they didn't get past anything else in between.
Right. Now, I want to talk to you about, faith, spiritual growth, and identity.
Yes, sir.
How has learning to surrender your desires to God's will reshaped your definition of success and purpose?
Now I've learned, because before I would love to do like every interview, every show, everything, because it's success to me.
Gotcha.
But once I realized and I got closer to Christ, I'm like, oh, this isn't about me. This is about Him. So what I look at it as my success is, okay, Lord, did I do good today?
Gotcha.
Because in the Bible, I was just reading it where it says, tomorrow has its own problems. Today just worry about itself. I'm like, okay, I got it. So let me be the best servant I can be in this moment. And that's a success to Christ. Then tomorrow he says, okay, I'm going to put you on this stage. Do this, do that, and do this, and do that. So that's kind of how I look at success. Because when you start looking at success like cars, houses, all of these things, that you can't serve two masters. That's where your heart lies, and if your heart is lying in these things, you're going to do whatever you want to do to get them. And then when you get them, you're still not happy. Right. So you have to sit back and say, you know what is success? To be honest, success isn't even really a thing. It's just a word, in my opinion. Okay. Right? I look at things like, okay, what is this service like? Whose life am I going to change? Okay. Because I guess God has these sides of the success, but to me, it's like, how is this going to bring Him glory? Right. It's different. To me, it's a difference between glory and success. Success is just like what you can man-made. It's like, I'm successful. I did this show. I got to the Grammys. That's successful in the world's eyes. But when it's like, okay, that's cool, but what's going to bring me glory? Because if you think about it, it's like, if you do something and God is not involved, He's like, okay, yeah, you did it, but dang, like, I kind of wanted to feel included. I wanted to feel included. And I think that's what the thing with it is. God wants to feel included in a lot of things, and we don't do that. When we get our own success, it's a whole different way. Now we're not saying we're not playing God, but now we're getting the glory. We're getting the honor. God is just like, you can have it, but dang, I wanted some too. Like, because I can do way more than this. And it's like, He feels some type of way about it sometimes. You
said something in the process of your breakdown. You used the word serve.
Right.
So let me ask you. Now, I know we'll get into the music and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
How are you serving in your local church?
So for one, I play drums in my local church. Okay. But sometimes I even may set up the chairs. Okay. Like tonight, after today, I got to go to Bible study. Gotcha. Then Sunday I got church. So I just either play drums, and that's just my service to the Lord. Because everybody has service. You have the singers, that's their service. You got people coming, that's their service. Like there's people in our praise and worship team that can really sing, but when they sing, you don't hear just them singing. You hear Jesus talking to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So.
Okay. And what does service mean to you, like in that space? Like what is, because a lot of people say service in the sense of, and I hear what you say as far as playing drums.
Yes, sir.
Like, give me something outside of like if you're outside of the space of playing drums, do you feel comfortable in serving in any other capacity? Yeah,
we actually have something called Love in Action. So I want to say maybe third or fourth Saturday, I think it's every fourth Saturday, we actually go out to the city of Wilmington.
Gotcha.
And I just get my camera, I'm just shooting out there, taking pictures of different people. Okay. And while my church is serving them clothes, serving them food, things of that nature, because I believe God has given us a whole bunch of gifts, but you can serve in the church house, for me playing drums, but when you're outside of the church house, how are you serving? Okay, I'm going to go speak to this person, touch this person, because God is looking at us to serve any way possible, because after I leave here, God could say, hey, I need you to serve. I need you to go to Wawa and talk to this person. Yeah. That's a sign of service, to Him at least, so.
Gotcha. Now, in what ways has the Be Still season strengthened your trust in God beyond what concert movement ever could?
Man, I'm in that season right now with being still.
Talk to me.
And it's really, really stretching me, a lot, because I was just talking to one of my guys out there that I'm a paraprofessional, as I said off air, and I get paid every 2 weeks. Not gonna lie, I want to get paid every week, like I really do, But at the same time, it's like for me to get paid every week, I would have to do warehouse labor work, and I'm like, man, I don't want to do no labor. I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? They called me, was like, yo, you can't work here because of something. I'm like, all right, cool, no biggie. And I was like, dang, Lord, well, I guess I gotta be still. But that triggered my mind and say, you know what, that was out of his will for me. Because I asked for patience, and patience is working with paraprofessionals, with autistic kids and things of those natures. I'm like, okay, I gotta be still, because if I was to work right now and get paid every week, I'm moving. But am I sitting back and saying, Lord, is this what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, granted, God is our provider, but I mean, just sometimes I think me as a man, I gotta, you know, pay bills, I gotta do this, as we should.
Yeah.
But the Lord is like, I'm gonna provide you with the money to do so. So being still made me say, okay, Lord, when you say be still, this is what you mean.
Yeah.
And don't be idle, but be still and trust and know that I'm God.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is what you mean by be still and trust you.
Okay.
So.
How do you personally discern the difference between God saying wait, no, or not yet?
So for me, when I know it's a no, for me, I know it in my spirit it's a no. Cause I'm just like, I feel I want to do this so bad, but I just get like pushed back in my spirit. I'm like, oh, this is a no. When he says wait, I'm a visual person, so he'll give me glimpses of certain things. And that's how I know, okay, he's telling me to wait. So yeah, that's pretty much it there, yeah.
Now, how has viewing God as a father rather than just a ruler transformed your prayer life and relationship with him?
Actually, great. I'm blessed to actually have my actual father in my life. And the reason I say that is because that makes my mind think. You know, as a father, it's like you take care of your son or your daughter. You do what you need to do for your child. So now when it comes to the Lord being our father, you can come to him with anything, like anything. He's going to punish, I mean, he's not going to punish you per se, but he's going to like, hey, well, no, not yet. Don't go to this route. You can't go to this party. You can't hang out with this girl, this guy. And I'm like, you know what, Lord, wow, as a father, you actually care. And there's a lot of people out here that don't have fathers. So when they try to go to God, they're like, God's my father, but I don't have my personal father, so how do I don't even see this person. I don't even see this man, so to speak. So how do I know if this is my father? But once he's still speaking to you, and one thing I've noticed about the Lord as a father, he's still pursuing you. He's still saying, hey, you're fine. Come on. You messed up? All right, well, you won't punish. Like, it's delayed. I look at delay, to me, I don't want to say punishment, but I look at delay like a small punishment. Like, okay, you were supposed to come here, but you didn't obey me, so I'm going to delay it. You still can get it, but you're not going to get it when I told you to. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, how can believers balance ambition and surrender while pursuing their calling?
I would say everything you do within your calling, take it back to the Lord. Everything. Because when you sit back and say to the Lord, Lord, I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to put you on this platform. Okay, Lord, what do you want me to say? You go there, boom, now you come back home. Okay, Lord, did I do a good job? Was there something I should have changed? Did I mess up here? What did I do? You know, he might say, no, you did good. Okay, great. Now he might trust you with the next thing, because I realize now, and even when I prayed before coming here, everything that I say or anybody says on a platform, it's not us.
Right.
It's the Lord. He wants, because you have to think about it. Like you said, back to service. There's people out here that need to be served. When they watch these on these cameras and these videos, they're looking at it like, yo, they're looking at our social medias, our YouTubes, to see what they can get. And if we say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, they're like, oh, so it's okay to do this. So we have to be very mindful as influencer business people, etc., to say, okay, what can we do to change people's lives while we're speaking on our personal experience? Because at the end of the day, YouTube is forever. Like, really, YouTube is really, like, the videos we post are forever.
Yeah.
So what happens is there's going to be people that look at videos. Matter of fact, perfect example, Miles Monroe. You know, he had passed away.
Right.
But he's still one of my favorite speakers. But his videos are still playing, and I'm still learning stuff just from his videos. Same thing with what we're doing. So.
Now I want to switch and pivot to leadership, your character, and personal development.
Yes, sir.
How has adversity shaped the way you lead others, especially those who are still navigating their own struggles?
To be honest, that's how, like, with my adversity, I just want to be honest with people with my adversity, because there's people that have been through it. People may not have, you know, me, I was born 1 pound 8 ounces. You know, if you open your hand from the top to the bottom, that's how big I was.
Yeah.
You know, I shot a documentary in my neighborhood, and I spoke about that, but they were shooting right behind. Like, somebody got killed right behind where I was shooting. And that's just where I come from, you know, and I've been involved in those type of things. There's somebody out there, like, for example, and I'm just being honest, with me, I was performing at an event at a club, I think, and outside, they were shooting outside. I'm about to walk outside, and the shots are still going off, and somebody pulls me back. But I speak on my experience because that's the adversity I've been through. Somebody might not have been through that, but they're like, wait a minute, I was close to death and God saved me. You know, it might not be a shooting, but it might be suicidal thoughts. It might be a car crash. It might be a domestic situation. It might be a family situation. You know, so my adversity, or the way I handle adversity with people is just be honest with them, because I feel like us as believers, well, most believers, we're not honest with people. Where everything is peachy keen, everything is great. No, I'm struggling. Like, I don't have any money in my pocket. I am on faith, hope, and a prayer at this point.
Do you think that's missing in a lot of what we hear and see coming from the church? Okay, talk.
It is, you know, and shout out to my church, First Start Ministries. So even with that, even how even my pastor Chad, who he speaks, he always says, he's like, we're in healing and deliverance ministry. You know, granted, we get into the word and everything, but we want you to be healed and delivered, because when you're healed and delivered, it makes sense. And he says something that's always powerful. You can come to church and be delivered, but then leave and not be delivered. I'm like, oh, gotcha. You know, so.
What leadership qualities are refined in seasons of stillness that cannot be developed through productivity alone?
Faith for one, because I know everybody says, oh, have faith in what you do, have faith in what you do. Granted, you can have faith in what you do all day, but you can get the opportunity and blow it.
Right.
You know, so what a leadership quality is, for me, preparation, faith, obedience, and stewardship. You have to be obedient to what God is telling you. You have to understand the strategy, see the vision of it, and then get it produced. And then you can have stewardship from there. So you steward what he's telling you, And I'm thinking a lot of leaders, at least from my opinion, from what I see, don't understand that there's actually steps to being a leader. Like, there's a book that I read called Lead Like Jesus. And that book is amazing. And basically in the book it's talking about how is Jesus being a leader, like how he says, okay, I'm like how he washed the feet. He's showing people how to serve. You know, perfect example when he told Peter, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. And I was talking to somebody else about this on Sunday or a while ago. People don't understand that. When I'm just excited when people would say this, it's God works in mysterious ways, but he turns everything around for your good. Peter was already a fisher. He was making money, fishing, doing what he had to do. He was like, okay, well, God was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you fishers of men. First, cast your net over here. Boom, you got the fish. You good money. Now come over here. Now he's already used to fishing. So what God did was say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna show you how to do this, but in a different way. His mind was already transformed to the fish. Now God transformed his mind, his spirit, his soul, etc. So.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
What lessons have setbacks, like the things that you talked about, taught you about resilience and emotional intelligence as a leader?
For me, with emotional intelligence, it just showed me to, like I said, go back to being patient. It's going back to understanding what's going on. Like me, I was never an honest person. Okay. And what I mean that is I could finesse. I could sell, like for real, to keep it honest. You know, we could finesse. I knew how to do that. I knew how to say, okay, if you give me, I got $50, I need $50 for this event. I get the event, I go and spend it, you know, on shoes, shirts, whatever the case is. And honest, I feel like that God had just changed my life with that. Okay. And he was like, you know what, like, that's not even honest of you. You're not even being a leader. You want to be a leader, but you're not even leading the right way. You're not even stewarding this money correctly. You're lying about what you really want. If you just be honest, you'll get it. And that just made me think, you know what, Lord, I see this. I see where the resilience is coming from. I see that I have to be persistent in what I need to do. So,
how do you actually define true influence beyond visibility, recognition, or platform growth?
Just by your fruit. Okay. Literally by my fruit, by walking outside and saying, hey, do you need help with this? Or what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? So it's by my fruit, because you know how they say, they're looking at your fruit. You can be the coolest person in the world, but if your fruit is not correct, then it's not gonna work. Yeah. And trust me, there's people that can fake fruit. You ever had actual fruit and it's nasty on the outside, but when you get on the inside, it's clean? Yeah. It's the same exact way. You know, some of us are nasty on the outside, but on the inside, we clean. Right. But at the same time, some people are actually nasty on the outside and nasty on the inside. Yeah. Or some people are clean on the outside and nasty on the inside. You're never going to know unless you inspect the fruit correctly. When you go to the grocery store, you got to inspect that fruit correctly, because you don't want to give it to your kids, your daughter, your wife, your family. Right. You know, right. So.
Got you. Now, creativity, music, and purpose.
Yes, sir.
Kind of pivot to that. How has your past pain become a creative language that helps others heal through your music and storytelling?
That's great, because that's actually what my whole brand is about, faithful to the vision. Just being, like I said, just being honest, but when I sit back and think about it, there's people that live just like me. Okay. But the problem is they don't have anybody to speak for them. So when you as an artist, as a creative businessman, whatever it may be, when you start speaking how you're supposed to, for you, there's people that's going to hear it.
Okay.
And when people hear it, that's when they get attached. Because there's a lot of people that speak, but they're not really talking about what they're, not saying what they're living per se, but they're not speaking to a specific crowd. And I understand that everybody wants to please everybody, but you can you can try to please everybody, but you'll end up pleasing no one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to please the certain people that God has put in your life. Once God says, "You okay, I'm gonna allow you to do this, but this is the community of people. This is who I want you to speak with." Once you realize that, that's when everything's gonna come together.
When did you recognize or understand the weight of that responsibility? Like in your journey, in your process, when did you really start to feel like, oh, this is heavy?
When I got closer to Christ, 2023. Because I've been doing like motivational rap and stuff just for me, and everybody's listening to it. But once I realized, oh Lord, this is way, 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 way different, that's when I realized it. Because I also realized it when my spirit started getting heavy for certain people. Okay. When I put certain songs out, now I started feeling burdens. I'm like, why am I feeling a burden to make a song called Faithful to the Vision, or 40-Day Lock-In, or God's Daughter, Blueprint from Heaven? Because there's people out there that are creatives, are believers, but they don't have, they're like going through it. They're like, Lord, I'm trusting you, but I'm not making $1 today.
Right.
So when you listen to, my music, so to speak, I want you to hear what God is saying. Like, you're not making $1 today, but I'm sustaining you. It might not be financially, but I'm sustaining your patience. I'm sustaining your resilience. You're relying on me. You're getting paid somehow. It's just not monetarily.
Right.
So when you listen to my music, it's like, dang, I'm not getting paid, but I'm learning. So.
Now, I'm always one of those, and I'm not trying to be the old OG and gatekeeper type stuff.
Nah.
You said that you just got started with Christian rap as far as in what, 2023?
Yeah, 2023. Yeah.
Okay. So have you had any pushback from the OGs that say, man, where you come from?
No, cause to be honest, like, and the crazy part is you guys are actually my first Christian hip hop company that actually embraced me.
Okay.
I've always been on that type of route with motivational stuff, but a lot of my guys and my friends, they were like, man, I can see you doing Christian rap. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So you guys are actually the first people to embrace me, which is a blessing. But as far as like other people, I would love to connect with them as well. And I forgot, there was somebody I was listening to, I guess it was a pastor, we had a thing where it was like hip hop, it's demonic, stuff like that. I understand his stance on it, because in reality, the actual hip hop, the actual genre, yeah, it's a lot going to it. But I believe it's Christian hip hop, and I understand that's the genre we are in. But I just look at it as kingdom music, because at the end of the day, we're serving one God.
Right. And
when it comes to Christian hip hop, that's just a section of it.
Right.
You have kingdom. It's like a record label. Like you have, let's say you have, for example, Kingdom Records, right? Okay. Then you have subgenres. You got Christian hip hop. You got Christian R&B, Christian rock, Christian this. Then you have the artists under it. Yeah. That's how I'm looking at things. I'm like, okay, Lord, how can I be part of Kingdom Records? Okay, I want you to be in this category, but these are the people I'm going to give to you. And I'm understanding, like, okay, Lord, these who you want me to speak to. What do you want me to speak about? Because there's other people. Like I said, one of my favorite artists, and we mentioned it off air, Jackie Hill Perry. She's crazy with the flow. She has a certain people she's speaking to. I got a certain people, Young Seta, Quan, my man, this guy named Young Chris, these type of guys, so yeah.
Indeed. I love to ask that question, because there's always, it may be a space where the thought may be, okay, well, were you secular, you're a secular rapper for a number of years, and then the conversion, in that moment. So you say that, basically people were just like, maybe you should do this.
So here's the fun fact. Okay. So me doing they could see me doing it because I wasn't cussing into my music.
Gotcha.
But I wasn't going to do it. I was going to tell God, look, I'd rather just be a paraprofessional, live my life, serve the kids, etc. God was like, no, you're going to do music for me.
Gotcha.
But I realized as I got closer to Christ, I needed to fall back, because this is a new lane. Okay. And this is not just, granted, it's a music business versus business and industry are two different things. We can get into later. But knowing that, I'm like, okay, Lord, you got to prepare me to get over here, because at the end of the day, granted, I'm going to meet different people, etc. But they're just a byproduct. I'm looking at, Lord, am I serving you correctly over here? Because if I say the wrong thing in my song and somebody listens to it, they're going to believe it. Exactly. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Exactly.
You know, because like they said, the blood is on your hand. Like how Pilate, he didn't wash his, he was washing his hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that ain't
right.
that ain't right. So
I got you.
so yeah.
In what ways does your faith shape the message and emotions you choose to communicate through your art?
So here's a crazy part. That believe it or not, I'm actually low key like an emotional guy.
Right.
Like I go through certain things, but I don't tell anybody. I just get in my prayer closet and pray.
Yeah.
But as I pray and go through these things, I write them down in my music.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Lord, I'm stressing out for some money. Okay, dang, blueprint from heaven. Now I'm saying, like, part of the song, part of the verse was, I forgot how I said it, but I think I said, God has 5 loaves and 2 fish. Now you have your 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Gotcha.
And that basically means God fed 5,000 people, 5 loaves and 2 fish. He used what he had. So it's now you use what you had to feed your into 5,000. You see what I'm saying? So I just feel like with me, everything I go through, I'm broke. Blueprint from heaven. I don't feel like doing this today, Lord. Faithful to the vision. You know, married soon one day, God willing. God's daughter. You see what I'm saying? Every emotion that I go through, I write it in a song. And if you notice, all the songs that I have don't have the actual titles to them. They have what I've been through.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Now, how do you maintain authenticity in your music while navigating industry expectations and opportunities?
To be honest, I just go with everyday life.
Okay.
And I want to go with what God called me to do.
Gotcha.
So when I say that is, granted, it's everyday life. Yes, you know, we go through struggles, flat tires, and all of these things.
Yeah.
You know, like it's real. It's real. We go, like, I mean, you might get a flat tire when a cuss, like, man, you. But at the same time, you're like, you know what, God, we're going to get the tire fixed. But at the same time, you can thank him, like, you know what? I got a flat tire. I got over on the road. I'm just thankful I have a car. I got 3 other tires that work.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once I started realizing like that, like, dang, I could have had a flat tire on the highway and them cars was going and it could have been over. But when I sit back and think like, dang, you know what? I got a flat tire, but I got 3 other ones that work. At least I have a phone to call somebody to come help me with this. Yeah. And once I realized that, I'm like, oh Lord, this is it. So.
How long did it take you to take on that mindset?
Man, I just took on that mindset probably 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've been reading. I'm an avid reader.
Okay.
You know, and when I read the Bible, I don't read it. Like I said, I don't read it like everybody else. Now I don't know how people read it, but I take things literal and apply it to my life. I love to apply reading things to my life.
Okay.
So with my walk, I'm like, okay, how did the Lord do this? How did he do that?
Yeah.
And I sit back and think, and I've always been smart. I let my mama tell it. Where it's always been like, you know what? At least I'm not dead. At least I have 3 tires. At least I got a family to come home to. At least I got this. At least I got that. There's somebody that doesn't have this. At least I have it. You know, so that was my mindset. Because at the end of the day, that's how God looks at it. It's like, yo, I don't want to be ungrateful. Man, my tire got messed up. Man, bro, you have a car. You feel me? There's somebody that don't have a car. You know what I'm saying? So.
And when you can operate and function in that space and on that level.
Yeah.
That's where you build your trust. When he can trust you and say, okay, let me elevate you here,
Yeah.
elevate you there.
Yeah.
If you can take on the mindset, this is just for your own future, and this is what I'm just telling you, as long as you can keep yourself in that space,
Yeah.
where you can always pull yourself back to remembering, I don't care how big you get,
Yeah.
going back to, I remember when I only had 3 tires.
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't have a car. I remember when certain things didn't transpire. As long as you can always pull yourself back, it keeps you grounded. Not saying that you can't, ascend.
Yeah.
It keeps you grounded in the sense of your person and your being. This is just my advice for you, as far as being an OG in this.
Yes, sir.
Keep that in the forefront of your mind. As long as you can remain humble in these spaces. Not saying, okay, God, I'm being humble. It's just, it will come naturally.
Yeah.
Because you're building yourself up now in that space. If you can remind yourself of the beginning,
Yes, sir.
the humble beginnings in the journey,
Yeah.
so that once you get to the levels that you're talking about, it's like, I remember when.
Yeah.
And when you can pull from those experiences, that's when he can trust you to take it to the next level.
I look at all of that like, in what you're saying is super correct. And I also look at that as also like a wilderness thing. Because and I said this to somebody on the phone the other day, if you notice, if God is going to elevate you, he's going to pull you back in the wilderness.
Gotcha.
If he's going to elevate you here, every time he elevates you, you notice that you're always in the wilderness. I don't think people notice that. Have you ever noticed that? If God says, okay, now you're going to run Holy Culture Radio. Okay, pull back. I need you to learn about the radio. I need you to learn patience. I need you to learn what type of artist you're dealing with. Okay, this artist might be rowdy. How are you going to handle this? Okay, I need you to run this program in Atlanta. Okay, well, these type of artists are this way, And once I realized that God is always going to pull us back, I'm like, oh, he's always, it's like slingshot. He's always going to pull us back before he launches us forward. I'm like, oh, now I get it. So like you're saying, you're super correct. So.
Entrepreneurship, vision, and legacy.
Yes, sir.
How does the concept of being motivated by losses challenge cultural views about failure and success?
To be honest, I say the losses, a lot of people say them as lessons. But I feel that these losses, you can go through it and you can actually sit back and say, dang, what did I lose?
Yeah.
But also, what did I gain from this?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And considering that actually was one of my brands that I had, being motivated by losses, it's like, wow, I did lose this, but I lost this in the world.
Yeah.
But what did I gain in Christ?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
What does building a brand rooted in testimony and lifestyle teach consumers about identity and survival?
So it actually teaches people that you can survive in Christ and building a brand that way. A lot of people, when they build brands, they build them off of trends versus off of values and what a brand is actually supposed to be. And when you sit back and define yourself as, I guess, the founder or owner, what are your values? That's when your brand starts to be built. So now you have people that come around you and you see them like, okay, oh, I align with this brand. I align with faith, patience, strategy, trust. I align with this. Now what's happening is now you took that person to here. Now they're going to say, hey, they align with the same thing we do. Now you're bringing a whole brand in a whole way. Now you can even sprinkle, like they say, a medicine in the candy. Now you can say, you know what, by the way, these are actually biblical principles. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, everything, people don't know everything that the enemy, has out here. It's all biblical principles. They just don't want to say nothing. But when you establish yourself as a trustworthy person, now people can listen to what you're saying like, oh, it is this way. And it's way better than what it was. I don't have to stress over here. I can do this correctly. So.
What does building a brand rooted in, how do you envision merging faith, creativity, and business to create generational impact and community transformation?
How do I merge? I just kind of put it all in one. So when I mean that is, I say, okay, there's people out there that want a certain type of lifestyle, and certain people can't give it to them, not because they're not capable of it, but you're not trustworthy or believable. Okay. So when you sit back and say, okay, how can I just be me? Now you start to embody that lifestyle, like the new brand that I have now, which is Visions Come Alive. And I'm like, wow, what does Visions Come Alive really mean? God has a vision for our lives. Like in the back, God has a vision for us. Yeah. How he said, hey, I need you to do this, write the vision. And he wrote down God's vision. Yeah. Now when he brought it down, I was like, oh, now it's coming alive. He's showing people. If you look at the Bible, it's technically all God's vision. Gotcha. Every single, at least to me. So when it comes to emerging brands, I look at that the same exact way. What is God's brand for me? I want you to talk about vision, people changing lives, people doing this. Now you have a whole bunch of people connected to this because they see one person that's trustworthy and submitting to Christ to get where it's at. So.
Indeed. What kind of legacy do you hope your music, brand, and personal story will leave for future artists and entrepreneurs?
I just want to leave a legacy that says, outside of well done and good and faithful servant, I want to leave a legacy that says, this man followed God's vision. Like, he didn't trust his vision, even though I want to, because listen, my vision is lit. I'm just letting you know, it's popping. But I want to be able to I want to follow God's vision. What does he have for me? Yeah. And then when that happens, now somebody can look at, me from 5-10 years later and be like, wow, when you follow God's vision, this is what you get. Dang, so if I follow God's vision, what do I get? Who can I impact? Who can I inspire? Because you have to think about it. Like I said, YouTube is forever. Yeah. And, life is forever. We're not going to live forever, but the social is. So when you have that mindset like, hey, this is what I want to portray because there's somebody, this new generation of kids that's going to come up, they got to look at somebody that's like, wow, he's on fire for Christ and he's not playing no games. Yeah. So.
How do you feel, just based on what you just said, how do you feel about being that person that they look to?
I look at it, to be honest, I just look at it, and I'm going to be honest, I look at it like the Lord, he chose me here. I don't have a choice. Okay. So whatever comes with it, comes with it.
No, you got a choice.
I do, so yeah, I do have a choice. So for me, when I say I don't have a choice, is I like to stand on my word. If I tell to the Lord, I'm going to follow you, even though I'm going to struggle and I'm going to kick and scream, I don't have a choice. Yeah. We have a choice, but the choice that I want to pick, I'm going to be the dead or in jail.
Understood.
And I don't want to do that. So I don't have a choice.
Understood.
So I'm excited that the Lord has chose me for this. Kind of nervous, but I got this.
Indeed. Now, as far as future community and impact, how do you see your journey equipping you to mentor and uplift the next generation of creatives and believers?
By just going out there and actually leading by example and showing. And when people get equipped with that, they see that, because I think a lot of people don't see people living like I used to call it, living what you rap about. They don't see it, and I think a lot of people don't get a chance to. So what happens is, for me, I want to go out there and just show you, like, hey, that's why I have cameras and documentation, because I want you to see, even though I might do an interview or I might do this, I might do that. That's going to equip you to show, like, wow, I didn't know that was possible. How did you do that? You can DM me, and I'm like, hey, look, this is who you talk to, this is the connection, etc. Because I also think that a lot of people don't share the connection.
True.
You know, and I was, me rapping in the world, I was like, man, yo, how do you do this? And nobody would share the game to me. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. You're supposed to be that.
Do you feel like you get that in the space of CHH at this time?
To be honest with me, I haven't really reached out to many people, but the ones that I have, I really, not as much.
Okay.
I haven't reached out to many people,
Okay.
but the ones that I have reached out, I did get hit back, stuff like that, like James and you guys, etc. But as far as like the big artists and stuff, I get it. You're a big artist.
Yeah.
I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, Lord, well, if it's your will for it to be done, it's going to be done. And I think that's my thing. Because I used to be real like, what you mean you hit me back? I'm dope. Like, I can really brand. I can really put it together.
Okay.
But once I sat back and thought, you know what, Lord, if it's your will, it'll be done.
Okay.
Whether they got a blue check or they got 1,000 followers, 1 million followers,
Yeah.
it'll be done.
Yeah.
Because you see, and this goes back to what I've learned. He knows the beginning from the end. He knows that I was going to be here. He knows what time I was going to be here. He knows if I was going to make it. He knows if you're going to say yes, if you're going to say no. He knows everything.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm going to reach out and do my part, but if they hit me back, great. If not, okay, Lord, well, if it's in your will, it'll happen in your timing. And I think a lot of people do not align with the Lord's timing. They'll align with what he said, but he won't align with their timing.
Okay.
He says, oh yeah, you're going to be blowing up on the Grammys. Okay, cool. You ain't going to get on them Grammys for like 5-10 years, but you're going to get one though.
Okay.
Are you willing to say, I'm going to align with your timing or what? Because if you notice, when you align with God's timing, he speeds it up for you. When you don't, it slow down.
Facts. What does building authentic community look like in an industry often driven by competition and comparison?
Being set apart, meaning going out there and doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. When you go out there, like for example, like me and my homie out there, we was talking, like J. Cole. He had the trunk sale. He was popping his trunk, and he sold it for $1, I think, his CDs. The regular industry rollout would have been interviews and all this stuff. He was like, no, I'm going straight to the people. And I look at that like, you know what? Go to the people.
Yeah.
I understand it's a competitive game, but if you want to be honest, most rappers in here, we all co-workers. Like, we really all co-workers.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, but we're all co-workers, but we're working for the same boss.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. We're all working for the same boss, so why are we trying to compete? Like, we're not going to get raises. We're not, like some, let's be real, some may get a raise, quote unquote. They may perform at the Super Bowl, or they may perform at the Grammys. They may do this, they may do that. That might be the boss's raise for them.
Right.
Your raise might not be like that. Your raise might be, you know what? I'm going to give you a couple dollars. I'm going to give you, let's say, $1,000. I'm going to give you $2,000 a show. That might be your raise. Right. But we're all working for the boss, because at the end of the day, if the boss sees, it's like a job. If the boss sees fit of what you're doing, then you're going to, elevate in the company.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
How can your story encourage others to see their setbacks as seeds for their future calling?
So for my story, I just say, I would, like, for me, just being honest about it. So like saying, like, with, like if somebody has a story, like, I want to kind of come off like, you know what, I'm the, I guess you could say the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. I'm telling the truth. I was born 1 pound ounces. My girlfriend was burnt, murdered, thrown in the river. And my best friend was shot because somebody thought he was going to tell on him. Like, one of my homies came to my house, bring somebody to kill me because he, quote unquote, I owed him money when I didn't. Like, I want to be honest to a point where they're like, you know what? God brought him through all of this. Oh yeah, I've been through this. I've been through that.
Yeah.
Now somebody else can tell their story. Oh, I've been through this. I've been through that. Because at the end of the day, when you just start telling your story and you tell him what God brought you through, he like, yeah, I brought my daughter through this. I brought my son through this. I did that. God, I did that. I did that. I got the glory for this. That's a blessing. Now he can say, I could trust you to share this. Because reality is, God wants us to share our stories, like share our testimonies, you know. And I think because I've seen a lot of Christian hip hop where it's like, oh, your testimony is cool, but you're not speaking the word, you're not rapping the word. I'm gonna be honest. Some of us, like for me at least personally, I can't rap the word Mark 24. I can't rap it all the time. I gotta rap about what I know because there's somebody out there that needs to hear it, you know. But there's other artists that can.
Yeah.
So the artists that can, rock with them. Artists that want to listen to how the vision is going to come alive, the testimony, being honest, being fruitful, listen to me. Holy Culture Art, you know, so.
Well, I think you gotta look at it like this. As far as, and I understand what you're saying, as far as not being a rapper that may, you know, rap scripture, chapter, verse.
Right.
The dope thing about Jesus is the fact that he spoke in parables. You know, all you have to do, as far as your journey is concerned, is tell the story.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, he saved you from this, that, or the other.
Right.
You know, so, you know, don't ever feel and say, well, I don't, that's cool.
Yeah.
But as you dig into the word, there will come a time
it is.
when you'll be able to pull from that.
I did, yeah.
So as you grow and gain the experience, gain that time in relationship, sometimes we get to the point where we're Bible thumping and we lose who we're talking to. The people that are out there that if you start, you know, giving scripture, chapter, verse, they're gonna tune you out.
Yeah.
But if you can stay in a position of flowing with how the Spirit is moving, that's how He can use you. You can talk parables. You can talk about your story.
Yeah.
Because guess what? He's interwoven
all of that.
into all of that.
Yeah.
Into the very fabric of your story.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be, you know, John chapter 7, Isaiah chapter 1.
Yeah,
this is the version of the word that I've taken on, that I'm living out, and through him, he's being glorified.
Yeah, and I think that was one of my biggest fears, actually being in the Christian hip hop industry, so to speak, because it's like, dang, well, you know, like for example, you know how there's people, artists, they perform in front of the church. It's cool to rap in front of the church, no biggie, but it's just like, dang, well, I might have to pull some scriptures. I don't know none. I just know my testimony. That's cool, but where's the Bible verse? You know, like even when you, but I can't go rap in the world because I don't be in the club. So it's like, dang, well, what do I do? Let me just sit here and just do something, you know. But once I realized, God has just said, Isaiah, just do the music. I'll do everything else. Whether it be my people, whether it be not the world, but whoever it is, I'll just do it. Just do what I ask you to do. And once I realized that, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. You know, I'm not saying, you know, the Christian hip hop industry won't accept me, but I'm just here to do what the Lord says. If he says Christian hip hop, cool. If he says, you know what I'm saying? If he says Christian hip hop, cool. Or matter of fact, hey, you're a believer, but go to this strip club. Sir, I'm not going to this strip club. No, I want you to go here because there's somebody in there. It might be a young artist that's in there that needs to hear the Bible. All right, I go there, pull him outside. Hey, look, the Lord, boom, 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 boom. He's like, yo, I've been struggling. I don't even want to be here. I'm only here because I'm making $500 for this night. But I need the Lord for real. Like, what do I do? So I'm like, you know what? All right, this is what you want, because our obedience is bigger than what our outcome could be.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, of course, God can take you anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit up here and say that He can't take you to certain, you know, regions and spaces is untrue. He does it all the time. He can get the glory anywhere He chooses to get the glory. But I commend you, you know, for the fact that you are, you know, even though you're young to the CHH space, you're part of the family. Yes, sir. You're part of the community. So, you know, I applaud you. I implore you to continue to do what you do for the kingdom. Yes, sir. Dig in your word. Stay before Him and continue to learn and grow in the process, because there will come a time where you'll be equipped to, you know, be able to go scripture, chapter, verse, but He still may use your parables to tell the story. Just be open to flow the way he's leading and guiding you. What's next for you?
Well, what's next is actually putting out another project called Faithful to the Vision 2. Other than that, that's probably the main thing right now. I want to work on a company which I call Visionary Faith. I wanted to make it to like a branding hub. So like any creative entrepreneur or artist, they could come here. We could connect them obviously with you guys or different radio companies or different anything to build it. So I kind of want to do it like that, kind of like a label type of thing. Also, I have a clothing line I'm working on, trying to just put that together. And actually, April 16th, I will be at Morgan State University for their Chapel Christian position that they have, company they have. I will be doing Mosaic Night.
Okay.
From 6:30 to 8:30. So we'll be talking about entrepreneurship, how to be believers, how the business is supposed to be done. So that's really my next goal.
Okay.
But also, other than that, my next goal honestly is just to continue to just serve the Lord and just get closer to Him as much as possible. Because outside of all this great stuff that I have, this could be taken away tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I get it. You know, those questions are awesome. And that's what I have coming next. But what's next for me is whatever the Lord has, really. But those are my plans, you know, for sure.
I got you.
Yes,
now, as far as social media world and all that kind of stuff, where can they find you?
Isaiah Lee Music on everything. ISAIAHLEENUSIC. So Isaiah Lee Music on everything. Yes, sir.
Good brother, it's been a pleasure rocking with you today. Thank you for pulling up and joining me.
Yes.
On What It Be Like radio show. Listen, y'all, go follow, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. He's going places, stay along for the journey, watch the growth, and watch what God does. Thank you for tuning into the What It Be Like radio show, world famous Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM channel 140. Slim Sizzle out.
What's up? Good. That was fire. That was fire. You heard?
Brother.
Yeah.
Good work, bro.
We gotta get it together, man. The crazy part is I have a what's up?
Where'd you
Some
get that?
drops.
Yes, sir.
We got some drops for you.
Yes.
It's all optional.
I'm excited. I'm sorry. I love doing drops for radios.
All right, good. So you can same mic,
Okay.
same camera, still rolling.
All right.
You'll want to start on this side. So like, hey, how's it going? This is Isaiah. You're listening to Holy Culture Radio. Keep it locked.
All right. That's cool with me. All right.
Minutes, you feel
Greetings. So do you want me to do the back too, or just?
Once you're done, you can do the back. That's like the individual show.
All right.
Just like,
Greetings.
hey, you're listening.
What up? It's Isaiah Lee. Yervis. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, take it back to me.
All right. Yeah. Yup. You can make sure you can put the camera up so they can see it, or they can see it all good. You can see it good here. All right. Yeah.
Stop it.
Nah. Keep going.